This is a quick video behind the build of the Kingdom Builder Lego set that Triumph created for RX24. A lot of people showed interest in how we did it. Some people were even interested in perhaps making similar kits for their children's ministry to give kids a little bit of a gift with, attendance achievements and streaks and such. So we thought we would just give you a little bit behind the scenes of how we did it. For those of you who didn't get a kit, this is a quick build summary of the kit itself. This is the final result in terms of the packaging that was given out. And we just kind of want to walk through how we did it and how you could make something very similar. So the steps are, the first one is the prototype. And what I'd recommend here is you just get some old Legos out and just start building something. Don't worry about colors. It's probably the case that you don't have every color in the exact piece. And I would say that doesn't quite matter in the prototyping. What you want to do is look for scale. How big is it going to be? Things like for us, we want to make sure that the banner at the top was high enough so that the Lego minifigure didn't cover it. You also want to look at the basic structure. How's it going to fit together? How's it going to structurally, is it going to be sound? The overall shape. You also want at this point to be looking at brick availability. You want to make sure that you can get and source the bricks that you need. And you also want to start looking at the cost because every piece has a little bit of a different cost. And I'll show you how you can check availability and costs in a next step. Now, when you're doing this, it's often the case if you've built any kind of Legos, you're kind of building it a one-time thing for yourself. But when you're building it at scale, one of the key goals is you want to minimize the number of distinct pieces in your design. So while it might be tempting to use a lot of different types of pieces, if you think about it, when we get down to the assembly, it's much more efficient to pull 3 of the same piece than to pull 3 different pieces and make sure you get it into the bag. So you want to be thinking about the manufacturing process as you're prototyping. And again, just trying to limit the piece count as much as possible. It's going to be so much more efficient. A vast majority of the work here is in the manufacturing process and not in the design process. So be thinking about the manufacturing process and how you're going to do that. The next step is to take your prototype and actually model it in software. So good news, there's a free tool that you can get off the BrickLink website. It's called Studio and allows you to create your masterpiece inside of the tool. This is going to allow you to do really cool rendering of your kit and a couple other things. So you're definitely going to want to get this software. It's actually pretty easy to use. To watch a YouTube video, everything is there. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy. Now, if you notice here, we actually have our sticker inside of the tool. That was a little bit of a trick, okay? But here's the tip. You have to download another piece of software called Part Designer. Same website, you get it off of BrickLink. This is just a different piece of software that you can design a custom piece. So here we've taken the banner and then we put our custom sticker on it. Then you export this piece into Studio and you can use it. And why do you want to do that? Well, we didn't at first. I actually photoshopped all of the renderings that we did, and I photoshopped the sticker onto it. But when you get into the instructions and that little video I showed at the beginning, BrickLink Studio can actually make that animation for you, but you got to have your sticker in there. So Part Designer, again, it's another step. It's not really that hard. Watch a video. It's really pretty easy. Step 3 is to make the instructions. And again, you use the same Studio software and watch a YouTube video. Within 5 minutes, I think you'll find it pretty easy that you can build these instructions. And basically what you're doing is just showing what bricks to put in each step. And again, pretty easy. It makes a really professional instruction set. Looks just like the ones Lego makes. We decided to export our instructions as a PDF, and on the back of the bag, you could take a picture of a QR code to download the instructions. Okay, number 4, source your bricks. Okay, so now you know what you want, and actually the Studio software will give you a little bit of a parts list, which is really nice. You can go out and buy your bricks. There's 2 main places I would recommend to get your bricks. The first one is off Lego.com. They have a pick-a-brick functionality where you can just go and pick each brick that you want to buy. Now, the pick-a-brick does not have every brick known to man, okay? So it's it's limited, but it has a pretty wide variety. But this is again where, as you're starting to do your prototype, you kind of want to go in here and say, "Can I get this brick from Lego.com?" and kind of limit down what you're going to choose. Couple things you want to note is that as you're searching, you'll notice that there's two types of bricks. Some are labeled bestseller and some are just standard. Bestseller means you can source that brick from an American warehouse and it'll get here pretty quick. I think it's in Illinois. If it's a standard one, it has to come from Denmark. And that's not a huge deal. It just takes longer. So when we were picking our bricks, we kind of needed them quickly because we didn't have a lot of time to get this all sourced. So we tried to stick with bricks that we could get off the bestseller. We didn't order any standard bricks. If you have more time, maybe it doesn't matter as much. But we stuck with the bestsellers. And again, there's a lot of bricks that are bestsellers, so it shouldn't really cramp your style too much. Another place you can go to source your brick is a website called Bricklink. So Bricklink is a place where it's basically a conglomerate of a whole bunch of affiliate sellers. So there's thousands of people actually make a living just selling Lego brick online. Now some of these bricks are used, but a lot of them are actually new. So what these guys do is they go out and buy a whole bunch of Lego sets and they part them all out and then they resell each part. So Bricklink is kind of a nice place to go because you can sometimes get the bricks cheaper than from Lego, and even new ones, you can get them cheaper. But you often have to buy from a lot of different sellers. And there's tools like on Bricklink that you can put in all the bricks you want, and then it'll kind of put together a shopping list for you. So we sourced some of our bricks from Bricklink mainly because, again, they weren't available on Lego.com, so we needed them. Or they were going to be in Denmark, so we didn't want to wait. So I think you can save a little bit of money. It's a little bit more tedious. Like we ended up having to order from I think 12 different stores. So that was kind of a bit of a logistical task. But I think we saved a little bit of money, and again, it's the only way we could source it. There's a couple other sites like Bricklink out there. There's one called Brickowl. But I would stick with Bricklink. It's by far the most popular, and ironically, it's actually owned by Lego. Okay, so once you have your bricks sourced and on the way to you, the next step is to design your bag. The bag is kind of a fun thing. I think it really adds a lot of polish to it. So you can get these stand-up pouches at Sticker Mule. They're fairly inexpensive. A quantity, they're probably going to be about 50 cents. There's two sizes. We went with a smaller size for ours. If your kit's a little bit bigger, you're probably going to want to get a bigger bag. I would probably try to say don't go overboard with your kit. Again, the manufacturing, the assembling of all these Legos is going to take a lot of time. I think all in our kit was probably about $7 for the bag and all the Legos and the sticker. So not too bad, but again, the labor was probably the biggest one. As you design your bag, they give you a little template. So this is our Photoshop mock-up of what we did. So you just download this template, you just design it, upload it, and you're pretty much done. So they make it really easy. Now, when we worked on our design, we kind of modeled it. If you notice, kind of like in the front on the left-hand side, where we have the piece count and other things, we kind of modeled it after a Lego poly bag. So we tried to make it look kind of Lego-y without, saying Lego. Okay, so step 6 for us, we wanted a custom sticker. So normally we get all of our stickers from Sticker Mule. Unfortunately, Sticker Mule won't make a sticker that small. And so we had to go to a different vendor, and it was actually very tricky to find a vendor who would actually make a sticker the size that we wanted. But we did find this custom sticker makers. They would do very small stickers. In fact, they kind of like specialize in smaller stickers. So unfortunately, it was a lot of work. We had to cut all the stickers out with an X-Acto knife. But, just time wasn't very difficult. Okay, the final step is the assembly. And I didn't get great pictures of this, but what we did is we got these little cheap plastic salad bowls, and we just kind of put for each piece type how many needed to come out of that bowl for each kit. So in this case, the cylinder, we needed two of those. And we just put these all on a table and we just kind of walked around and put them into the bags. This is where volunteers are the key. Honestly, I don't know how people could do this for a living, because the labor costs would make the kits like just unreasonable. But if you have volunteers, and we used volunteers for our assembly, it worked out well. It's just a lot of time to put it together. And again, they're going to appreciate the fact that you didn't make as many or choose as many different types of pieces, because it's going to make the assembly much easier and less error prone. So think through your manufacturing process, kind of prototype it a little bit before you start going in mass. So that's again how we made our what we call the Kingdom Builder set, and I hope that's helpful to you. If we can be of any assistance in building this, even if you want us to do a lot of the legwork and do the design, we'd be happy to do that, work with you with that. But with a little bit of effort, it's definitely achievable on your own. Hope that was helpful. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out. We'd be happy to help.